Okay, sorry. I hope everyone can hear me now. So I forgot whenever I was making this thread to make it register. So we will. Down below is in the QR code. You can see there's $5. If you are not able to make it into the building today, but still want to donate to this amazing charity that we work with every single year, please scan the QR code down below. You can donate $5 directly to the DBSA. It's also connected to 6 raffle tickets, and if you wish to spend those raffle tickets, you can do so. You can send an email to wshouseofcards@gmail.com and let the staff know what you would like to drop your tickets in to win a raffle. We'll be raffling off all 96 items this evening at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, so we are about 10 minutes away from our break being over, and then probably about 15 more minutes before we get into content. I'm going to be taking a brief step away so I can grab some water, talk to some players, and get some information. I may be, again, like I said earlier in the first half of the stream, I may be joined by some co-hosts later this afternoon, and I also may be bringing in some players for some one-on-one interviews, talking about their matches and stuff like that. We just got done watching David Nguyen beat Alec Idol in a match 2-1 in favor of David. Really, really close game. Alec unfortunately bowling to 5, games 2 and game 3. Just a little bit of an unfortunate break there. So we hope to be bringing you exciting content here in the next few hours. Please bear with us throughout this day. Hopefully we have minimal technical difficulties. All right, I will be back with you all very, very soon. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for supporting this amazing stream, guys. All right, Magic players, we are Magic players, not Magic players, everyone. We are back. We are getting right into it. We're going to do some quick adjustments here. And all right, welcome back, everybody. We're in round 2 of the main event here at the Counter Mental Illness 8th Annual Charity Tournament. We are going to be watching Alex Cochran versus Josh Serrano. I believe I'm going to be getting deck lists here very momentarily. I believe Josh is on probably blue-white control. No, he is not. Looks like maybe red-black from him just kind of quick thumbing through some cards. Let me go see if I can grab these deck lists real quick from for you guys. Alright, Magic players, we are back. Sorry about the delay. I was talking with the head judge a little bit, got a little bit sidetracked. So looks like we have Alex Cochran on Dross. Looks like to maybe be kind of this Grixis control list. And looks like Josh is on a black-red control list. All right, so we are on Josh. Josh in a pretty good spot, looking down a Ledger Shredder, but black-red, very well known for being able to kind of deal with single creature threats. Black-red known for just kind of having nothing but good cards. This deck has kind of become the boogeyman of the format. So it looks like Josh decides to animate Hive of the Tyrant. Alex having the Fatal Push ready. Josh saying, all right, well, let's go ahead and just pop the blood token, get some value out of this before we move to combat. Alex gets to untap here with a Ledger Shredder, 2 cards in hand. Little bit of forward momentum here. 4 mana, this is pretty big. Is that a Meathook Massacre? Okay. Saying, all right, tired of your Fable, tired of your boy. We're going to go ahead, get him off the board. My Ledger Shredder still stays alive. No attacks from the Ledger Shredder. All right. Josh is just like, all right, we're going to go ahead and play Sheoldred. As soon as you draw, lose 2 life. Josh gains 2 life here off the Sheoldred. Okay, good. Caught it. Josh having to give Meathook Massacre a little bit of a read. I'm also going to do the same thing, making sure I know what this card does. It is an enchantment. Whenever it enters the field, each creature gets XX until end of turn. So X is whatever you want to pay into it. And whenever a creature your opponent control dies, they lose a life. And whenever a creature an opponent control dies, you gain a life. This red-black deck is very resilient, very good at rebuilding. And then we said, let's go ahead and pass it back over. Alex playing a lot of cards that require some reading here. Kind of playing what we would, maybe a little bit of an off-meta deck. right, so Alex is trying to equip, and then Josh is like, okay, let's hold on. I would not like that to happen. All right, so Fatal Push does resolve. All right, so we're going to go ahead and pick up game one. It looks like Josh Serrano picking up game one against Alex Cockman. We are going to move into the sideboards, and now let's see what these players have to offer here. It looks like in Alex's sideboard, we have Hitsugu Consumes All, 3 Mystical Disputes, 1 Extinction Event, 2 Unlicensed Hearse, 3 Bank Busters, 4 Running Volleys, and 1 Go for the Throat. We could possibly see the Go for the Throat come in here. Maybe... maybe the Hitsugu Consumes All. I'm not really sure necessarily what that card does. It doesn't really feel like we have a lot here. We might bring in some Bank Busters just to kind of accrue some value to help us keep up with this black-red deck. Just because they're just jamming threat after threat after threat. Bank Buster gives us a little bit of card draw, so we might help keep up at that point. So let's take a look over at Serrano's sideboard. Now, Serrano has 2 Noxious Grasps. Those will not necessarily come into play here. We'll have 1 Call Against Command, 1 Mist Shadow, 2 Dampening Sphere, 2 Rending Volley, 2 Duress, 2 Extinction Events, 1 Bank Buster, 1 Path of Peril, and 1 Liliana of Last Hope. Now, I think the Liliana of the Last Hope here is actually pretty interesting. Deals with some of Alex's like lower creatures, pretty aggressive on the early board. I don't know if we'll see it on the draw, but we might see it on the play if we move to a game 3. I do see the Bank Buster coming in, maybe the Path of Peril coming in as well. I think that's kind of what we're going to see out of these sideboards here. Neither of them really needing to worry about Dampening Spheres. Neither of them are really playing targetable by Rending Volley. Actually, Rending Volley does target blue, I believe. I think it's blue and white. And if it's blue and white, we might see Josh bring in the Rending Volleys just to answer all of the blue threats. Because Nicol Bolas is a 4/4. Rending Volley would kill that. I don't know if Alex is running Nicol Bolas. Let's see here. So, does not look like we're running a Nicol Bolas over on Alex's list. So, really interested to see how this game 2 starts to kind of unfold. All right. Looks like Josh waiting for Alex to make the call on whether he's going to keep or not. It looks like Josh didn't really have any lands in the hand, so we might be... yeah. So Josh was saying, okay, we weren't getting anywhere. We weren't getting anywhere with that hand. Gonna take a little sip of my water here. Alrighty. Josh looking for a better 6 here. Can we put some lands together? We do have a Castle Lock Queen in hand. We know that. Okay. So it looks like we have a hand. We're gonna keep this hand. Now we're just gonna decide what's our worst card here. What do we not want to have? We're gonna have a Thoughtseize. Pretty good. We get to see Bone Crusher, Thoughtseize, and is it a Bank Buster? What is that? I believe that is a Bank Buster. Getting rid of the Thoughtseize, Alex is like, I don't want you doing what I just did. Josh being a stand-up guy, revealing his hand. Josh said, I top decked it. I got the Thoughtseize. I want to see your turn 2 play. Looks like we have a Consider, a Dig Through Time, a Blood-Tide Harvester, a Drown in the Lock. Okay, so we're not necessarily worried, apparently. So Alex gets to untap here, play the land, and then have Drown in the Lock up. So we're going to be able to counter any 2-drop that comes into play. Okay. So we're not shocking it. Do we not have a blue source? Wow. Gets the blue source. Our Drown in the Lock is now live. So it was a Bang Buster that was in Josh's hand. Just saying go. Looks like Josh is considering, ironically enough, I think Josh might consider jamming the Bone Crusher here. Get it for free? Okay, no. Just letting it happen. Blood-Tide Harvester. Now we might respond. Use the Bang Buster, get the card advantage. Josh contemplating what we're gonna roll out here. We got the land in play. Alex on one land. So we could feasibly deploy Bone Crusher here. Crush the Blood-Tide Harvester. Alex with 4 cards in hand. A little hard to keep track of because he's got 2 cards out on the field and 2 cards face down. Yep. So let's go ahead and get this guy out of the way. Josh, 3 cards in hand. Still 2 counters on Bang Buster. So at the end of Alex's turn, we're going to imagine a counter's going to come off Bang Buster. We're going to draw a card. Go into his turn with 5 cards in hand. Feels good. Draw for turn. All right, so Alex here looks like maybe digging for a 4th land. Josh starting to kind of pull away a little bit. So interested to kind of see how we move a little further with this. Maybe a Fable coming down. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Josh debating Oh, no. We play a Graveyard Trespasser. So let's go ahead and eat a Harvester out of the yard. Drain a life. Gain a life, lose a life. Kind of pass it over to Alex and say, all right, if you're not going to do anything on your turn, my guy's going to get bigger, and I'm going to hurt you more and more. So. This Bankbuster getting a lot of value for Josh here. Okay. Alright, so it looks like we're tapping and sacrificing Bloodtide Harvester against the Graveyard Trespasser. So it's going to give -X times 2 equal to the number of blood tokens. It looks like Alex has 2 blood tokens, so that'll be enough to kill the graveyard. You do have to discard a card to make that happen then. Alright, Josh has a lot of options here. We can deploy a Bonecrusher Giant that's just kind of on standby. We can run out this. Okay, so we're gonna play the known information. We're gonna drown in the Locket. Alright, and here is our Liliana of the Last Hope, I believe. So this is a card that we thought Josh was gonna bring in off the sideboard. Think we're just gonna probably uptick here. No targets. Oh, we're gonna downtick here. Graveyard Trespasser. Good hit. Alright, now we're going to start crashing with this Bankbuster. This is a 3/3, I believe. This Bankbuster, I think we run 1 in the main, and he runs 2 in the side? No, 1 in the side. So, imagine we brought in the extra 1 off the sideboard. This card has been doing a lot of work this game. Okay, it looks like we might be gearing up for a dig through time. Alex really not getting a second blue source here and really stuck on lands for the longest time. We finally found it, but I think we might be maybe a smidge too late. Uptick, no targets. So that's kind of the downside of this deck is every single card in on your deck is pretty powerful. So there's like a lot of like deciding what you're going to play. Josh taking a look at number of cards in the bin. Calculate for that dig through time. If Josh plays a Graveyard Trespasser here, Alex can, in response to the target, go ahead and dig through time so it doesn't get drained, and I guess kind of slows Josh down here. Looks like we might look at Sheoldred Mana. Alright, so here's our Trespasser. It is nighttime. Alright, so here's what we thought was going to happen. We played the Graveyard Trespasser. Now it is nighttime, so Graveyard Trespasser comes down on its flip side. So instead of a 3/3, it's a 4/4. And it gets to exile 2 cards instead of 1 card. Gets a little bit scarier. A little bit more of a boogeyman. Alex is going digging here. We're going to look at 7 cards, put 2 of them into our hand. Now, if we are Alex and we did board in... I don't know what we're looking for here. Maybe a Meat Hook Massacre again? It doesn't feel good. Alex not really drawing the lands that they needed this run. Has been a little troublesome. Looking down the strike force on Josh's side. Alright, so we used the Graveyard Trespasser to crew the Bangbuster, and we attacked with the Human and the Bangbuster. Alright, here's our Sheoldred. We now are daytime, so our Trespasser gets a little smaller. Okay, there's the go for the threat that we thought Alex was going to bring in. And Alex said, okay, I'm going to play a Bangbuster here myself, start trying to gain some traction. Trying to get back in this game. All right, Serrano may be looking to wrap up this game here. Plenty of lands. Said, okay, Liliana's kind of served her purpose here. I'm now going to re-slam the Sheoldred here. So you don't get, not going for the drain effect, but we're going to head and get rid of the dig through time. Don't want to deal with it. There's a lot of mana. Okay, we're just going to jam Fable the Mirror Breaker, Sheoldred, say go. Be like, all right, deal with my board. Alex needs... I don't know if Alex has anything in their deck right now to address this board. And there's the handshake. All right, so Josh Serrano taking the match over Alex 2-0. Alex is our last year's formal champion. So he is on the hunt to maybe fight his way back to that coveted finals match. Maybe he can be our first repeat winner. So, fun fact: in the this is now our 8th year doing it. In the 7 previous years, we've never had a repeat winner for our charity event. So, Alex may be trying to break history here, and maybe he can fight his way back in the later rounds of the event. We are going to take a short break. We are going to transition back to our Be Right Back while these players get cleaned up and we get ready for our next round. Guys, again, in this key, right below me here is the QR code, and there is Tammy, one of our lovely volunteers for the event. There's a QR code to the tournament raffle. If you wanted to donate and use your raffle tickets, you are more than welcome to do so. If you just want to donate, scan the QR code right down below my face right now. Donate $5 to the DBSA. It's an amazing charity. We are so happy to support it every single year. Our goal is to raise $5,000 or more this year and shatter last year's raise. I think we did $3,500 last year. So we're looking at breaking that goal this year and then even more in the years to come. We can only do that with your support. And we thank everyone for tuning in every single year, coming out to this event, making it special. We honestly, guys, we cannot do this event without the community. So with that being said, I'm going to take a step away. I need to breathe, see what's going on out in the craziness that is this event. In the meantime, if you are thinking about coming out to this event, do so. You don't have to be a Magic player. You don't have to play Pioneer to enjoy this event. We have side events. We have drafts. We have commander pods for Magic. We have drafts, and we have side events for Flesh and Blood. We have board games. We have cornhole and disc golf and other stuff happening out in the parking lot. We have a coffee truck. We have a donut truck. We have so many activities that are happening. All of the amazing raffles are not necessarily inherently gaming related. Some of them are. We have amazing donations from local businesses. I'm going to name a few of them because I have a somewhat cheat sheet right here. Camel City Coffee donated an amazing gift basket this year. They've been an amazing supporter of this charity event every single year, and this year they've really gone above and beyond with their donation to the raffle. So definitely check out that if you are wanting to drop some tickets on something. That's an amazing one if you enjoy coffee. Camel City Playhouse, located in downtown Winston-Salem next to Euphoria on Trade Street. They have donated season passes to any play that happens in their playhouse, which is incredible. We had an amazing food donation from O'Brien's Deli next door. They donated lunch and sandwiches for our players in the main event today. And we also wanted to shout out... That's it for now, but I'm going to have more shout outs going on throughout the day. We're also going to be blasting all of our amazing donors who chose to not be anonymous. We had some amazing generosity from players and people who were being anonymous. Thank you so much for y'all's donations and your contributions. You know who you are. And then we'll be doing some more shout outs throughout the day, just giving credit to those amazing people who have stepped up and helped us make such an amazing event even more amazing. All right, I'm going to take a step away, guys, and then we will be back shortly with more content. Alrighty, players, welcome back. We are back live with round 3 of our main event. We're going to switch over. I'm going to grab these players' deck lists here in just a moment. All right, so I have a runner going ahead and getting the deck lists. All right, if I remember correctly, Brad Shepard is on black-red, so very similar to what we just saw Josh Serrano on in round 2. And it looks like Shiryu is on blue-white spirits, maybe just mono blue spirits. I've not seen any white so far. Yep, there's a white card. So we're on blue-white spirits versus black-red mid-range. This will be a pretty interesting matchup. I want to say blue-white spirits is slightly favored in this matchup, which is why I think Shiryu is running it for this tournament. I do not know if the round timer has started. Oh, it looks like it has, so we're going to get right to it. Shiryu Patel on the play. Now, both of these players very familiar with each other. They are both in the same playtest group. Very familiar with each other's lists, probably, and jam more games than they could probably count. So Shiryu getting started off early with a Spectral Sailor. Looks like we're going to Bone Crush the Rattle Chains being flashed in at the end step. Shepard currently at 17. Shiryu, I believe, at 19. Curia Obsession coming in. This is an enchantment that you enchant a creature, gives it +1/+1, and whenever enchanted creature deals combat damage, you get to draw a card. So this is kind of how blue-white spirits generally pulls ahead. They're just getting constant value out of their creatures. I suspect these are the two decks that we're going to kind of see in the top tables as we move on throughout the rest of the day. We have a Graveyard Trespasser. This is going to go ahead and eat the Rattle Chains. So we're going to go 18 all. And then we're going to flash in another Rattle Chains. Crash in for 3. Crash in for 4, my apologies. And Shiryu's like kind of in a position where he doesn't necessarily have to play any more cards in his hand. He kind of has to make Shepard answer what's going on. All right, so it looks like we attempted to play a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Shiryu already kind of on standby, waiting to cast the Spell Queller. We're going to go ahead and Fatal Push the Spectral Sailor. We want that Curious Obsession off the board. 3 cards in hand from Shepard, maybe 3 in hand for Patel after the draw. Looks like maybe 4. All right, so let's go ahead and go over deck list. Right now, Patel, 4 Geistlight Snares, which is a little high normally, 1 Catilda Dawnheart Martyr, 4 Spell Queller, 2 Invasions, 2 Lofty Denials, 4 Rattle Chains, 3 Shackle Geists, 4 Supreme Phantoms, 4 Curious Obsessions, 4 Mausoleum Wanderers, 2 Slip Out the Back, 4 Spectral Sailors, and then a bunch of lands. So pretty standard stock list. Maybe a little bit high on the Geistlight Snares, a little low on the Lofty Denials. Looks like we're animating a Mutavault here, playing a Supreme Phantom. This is a pretty big alpha strike into Brad. All right, Maul Shepherd is thinking here. We have 4 Blood Tithe Harvesters, 4 Bone Crusher Giants, which is a little high, 3 Sheltered of the Apocalypse, 2 Graveyard Trespassers, 1 Kroxa, 1 Sky Sovereign, which is really interesting to kind of see in this list, 4 Fable of the Mirror Breaker, 4 Thoughtseize, 4 Fatal Push, and then we have a bunch of one-ofs of Duress, Abrade, and Sheldred's Edict, and a Go for the Throat. All right, so we're moving into the sideboard here. Game 1, we kind of wrapped up pretty quickly. The Spirits deck just kind of drew what they needed to. In the sideboard here, Shiryu has a Catilda, 2 Skyclave Apparitions, Takacia's Welcome, 4 Wedding Announcements, an Ether Gust, a Deck in Stone, a Destroy Evil, and 4 Portable Holes. I definitely see that we could possibly see the Skyclave Apparitions come into play here. I don't know about the Wedding Announcements. I don't necessarily feel like the deck needs them against Red-Black. We might see a Declaration in Stone, just some other spot removal, deal with the problematic creatures that we don't want to swing over, and kind of off to the races from here. Bradley with, we're probably not going to bring in the Noxious Grasp, but we will bring in the Rending Volleys. Misery Shadow here, probably not. We have Dampening Sphere, Path of Peril, we might see that. Languish, I think we will see brought in here. I think that's a really interesting sideboard tech against Spirits specifically. All creatures get -4/-4. That's generally going to hit everything in the Spirit deck, and it gets around them potentially playing Selfless Spirit. We're going to have 1 Extinction Event, 1 Duress, 1 Go Blank, 1 Bankbuster, and 1 additional Kroxa. So I definitely think we'll see the 1 of Languish and the 2 Rendering Volleys. I don't know if we'll see anything else out of Shepherd here. I didn't get to see how many cards that maybe they were boarding in. Shiryu with a guide of what he's going to board in and out. I don't know if Shepherd brought notes or not today. Like I said earlier, both of these players very, very familiar with each other's deck. Both of them very familiar on how they play. Alrighty, we are drawing up our 7 cards, getting ready for game 2. Looks like Brad Shepherd will be on the play after Shiryu got round 1. right, looks like we got a Thoughtseize turn 1. Shiryu keeping a 4-lander here. We've got a Mausoleum Wonder, a Lofty Denial, and an Invasion. Depending on how Shepard wants to move forward, we might take that Lofty Denial, but we're going to take the Invasion. Okay. We don't want Shiryu looking at our hand. Play a Mausoleum Wanderer here. Bangbuster. So this is going to start getting us some traction. Very similar to how Shiryu had the Curious Obsession last game. We're going to have this Bangbuster to kind of start accruing some extra value for us here and there, depending on how we want to proceed moving in the next couple of turns. All right, so we're just going to pass over here. We're looking to basically activate this Bangbuster. Unless Shiryu presents a threat, then we need to answer immediately. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and activate the Bangbuster. Draw that extra card. Draw a card for turn. And, you know, after that Thoughtseize on turn 1, Shepard saw Shiryu doesn't have a very aggressive hand, has a pretty nice slow hand, does know that he has the Lofty Denial, so we're just kind of waiting and playing around this counter spell and waiting to kind of build up our board presence. A Mausoleum Wanderer by itself, not very threatening, just a 1-drop, just a 1/1. Now we do have a Supreme Phantom here. That makes Mausoleum Wanderer a little scarier. Looks like Shepard with that Sky Sovereign in the hand. Shepard, I think, is debating on the resolution of the Supreme Phantom here because he knows Mausoleum Wanderer gets bigger. I think he's debating if he's going to Fatal Push here. I think we just let the Supreme Phantom hit and then try to Fatal Push the Supreme Phantom. And we can pay for Lofty Denial if that comes down. Crash in for 2. Alright. So yeah, I think that's the play. Shiryu debating if he's going to use the Lofty Denial, sacrifice the Mausoleum Wanderer. Feels like very much like a 2-for-1 for Brad at that point if that happens. So we're going to go straight into this Duress. Now this is actually pretty big because now we get to look, we get to grab that, definitely grab that Lofty Denial, and we get to just kind of see what Shiryu has drawn here. Looks like we have a Hollowed Fountain, a Lofty Denial, an Ataro, and I can't, is that a Destroy Evil? Maybe that's a Path of Peril? No, that's a Destroy Evil in hand. And then a Kroxa coming down. So this is pretty good. We know that he has 2 lands in the hand, and we know that... oh, no, this is a Bloodtide Harvester, not a Kroxa. All right. Shiryu doesn't have a lot necessarily going on at the moment. Can't see what he drew. Brad not even necessarily wanting to play anymore with that Mausoleum Wanderer, just saying, all right, we're going to get it off the field. I'm going to play my Graveyard Trespasser. Eat your Mausoleum Wanderer. And it looks like Brad's kind of starting to get a little bit of a board state established here. All right. Shroyoval comes down. We have one card left in Shryu's hand. Sorry, 3 cards in Shryu's hand. We have an Island and a Taro, and looks like 1 mystery card. So it becomes nighttime, so our Graveyard Trespasser gets to flip here. Comes a little bit more scary. Not attacking with a human. Another Bang Buster. And yeah, Shiryu just realizing he's kind of bricking lands at the moment. Game's kind of pretty hard to win at that point, so we're just going to scoop it up. We're going to go to game 3. Shiryu's going to be on the play this time, which is definitely where Spirits want to be in this matchup. I would say Black-Red pretty reasonable matchup against Spirits. They're pretty 50-50. It's very determining who goes on the play, also how many reps you have in the game, your knowledge. We were talking about it out there with the players between the rounds. Pioneer is such a beautiful format right now. It's not really figured out all the way. Like, even the best deck, arguably highest win percentage, being Black-Red at like 57% or 52%, but then the next best deck is at 40, or like the rest of the field is at 46% win rate. So it's not like a huge disparity in decks. Pretty reasonable matchups. You can play a lot of different variants, a lot of different deck ideas, and they might necessarily win all the time, but they definitely have a chance. And I think that's really, really beautiful. It's like playing old Modern back in like 2010 to 2012. Beautiful, beautiful time for Modern. And that's what Pioneer has really evolved into. So if you don't play Pioneer, you should definitely get into the format. Very affordable. A lot more affordable, too, than Modern right now. So like I said, we're going to be moving on to game 3. Shiryu Patel is going to be on the play. I imagine. I don't think he would give it up to Shepard. I don't think either of them made any big sideboard changes here. I wouldn't really suspect that they would change. Shiryu might opt to bring in some wedding announcements. Might opt to bring in some wedding announcements. Just because he's on the play, and they help him kind of push over the edge a little bit. But I don't think it is necessary for Black-Red. Looks like we have lands and spells. So it looks like Shiryu is pretty happy with it. Brad not happy with it. Brad is maybe didn't have the removal that he was wanting. Maybe didn't have a Thoughtseize or a Duress. So it's definitely going to be a little painful going down to 6. Now, lucky he's on the draw, so he's going to have 7 cards still. But Spirits is a very aggressive deck here, and you basically want to have as many cards as possible, so you have as many threats or threat responses as possible here. So definitely hurts going down to 6 here. And this is game 3, so the winner of this will be 3-0, moving into round 4 of our annual charity event here at House of Cards, located in Winston-Salem. Okay, so we kept a two-lander here. We have the Languish in hand. This is what Brad has been teching for spirits. So he's got a Fable of the Mirror Breaker, didn't have the Bugbear in hand. Is that? I don't know what that last card is. Shiryu opting to take the Bank Buster. Brad's hoping for a third land here. Thoughtseize off the rip. So there are the wedding announcements. We thought those were going to come in. Shiryu also not having a third land here. So that's pretty interesting. So look, both players here looking, not having third lands readily available. There's a chance that we kind of see this match slow down pretty drastically. Now, Shiryu does have a Supreme Phantom in hand. It gives him the 2-drop, so he can start pushing some sort of advantage. Shiryu now definitely has full knowledge of Brad's hand, knowing he drew the Thoughtseize here. Pretty big threats in the hand at the moment. So we have Geistlight Snare, Supreme Phantom, and I don't know what that last card is in the background. Is this a sideboard card? That is Takasia's Welcome, possibly. Let's take a look here. That is Takasia's Welcome. Okay. Whenever one or more creatures with mana value 3 or less enter the field under your control, draw a card. So a little bit of an extra draw engine for Shiryu there. It's a 3-drop, I think. And Shiryu does find his third land off the top. Very unfortunate. Plays the Takasia's Welcome. Wow. Okay. Both of our players hit into their third land drop immediately. Both of them have full knowledge of what's going on. And Shepard's, it feels like Brad's 3-drop is much better here in this situation, unless it can be answered. Now, we do have this Geistlight Snare. All right.
Where are you again?
So, ooh, okay. All right, so Brad kind of getting some pretty nutty draws here. Currently Hellbent, no cards left in hand. We're gonna, on the untap, we're gonna have a Kiki-Jiki, Mirror Breaker. We're going to be able to start activating Lockwayne. Now, Takasia's Welcome here, definitely giving Shiryu the extra card draw advantage. Just being able to stay at the 3 cards right now. Going ahead and drawing an extra card with the Castle Lockwayne there. Losing a life. No big deal. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and swing in with another Shaman. Flash in the Rattlechains. Are we going to block and trade here? Shiryu debating if he's going to block with a mausoleum. Yep, okay. He doesn't want Brad to untap next turn and being able to make copies of that Goblin Shaman. And Shiryu's getting to draw just so many cards off the Stochastia Welcome right now. Is this a wedding announcement? Okay, Skyclave Apparition. So we did think that this card was going to get brought in. Wow. So here comes the boat. And looks like the boat is going to blow up the Skyclave Apparition. So this is a pretty big play from Brad here. And it's pretty hard for Shiryu to answer this. Because he gets to crew. I'm pretty sure it's a crew 3 for a Sky Sovereign. It is a crew 3. So this Kiki-Jiki... This token that he just got for killing the Skyclave Apparition now just crews the Sky Sovereign for free. We can attack every turn and bolting any creature that Shiryu plays, and then threatening 6 damage. So we do know Shiryu left in the wedding announcements. That's probably going to be what we're looking for here. Catilda coming in. All right, so Catilda, flying lifelink, protection from vampires, and her toughness is equal to the number of permanents you control that are spirits and or enchantments. So this Catilda is pretty big. We have 5 currently. And then this disturbed ability. And then gets to enchant a creature. This card's very, very good for Shiryu right now, looking down the Sky Sovereign. So it looks like Shiryu is holding a Rattle Chains in hand.
I'll be blunt with you. I would spit on your back if your shirt was on fire.
So just when the Shepherd was looking like he was coming out of the woods here, Shiryu is definitely holding some good cards good answers in the hand. All right, so we have a Blood Tithe Harvester. Now, it does look like Shepard has 2 treasure tokens at the moment. Shepard debating if he wants to attack here to get the Sky Sovereign going, but doesn't want to leave himself fragile. Now, we know Shiryu has a Rattle Chains in hand, so if Shepard tried to get aggressive here, it would not be good for him.
This Catilda is definitely presenting some problems. I think Brad is hoping for maybe a fatal push here.
All right. So Shiryu deciding we're just going to jam this Rattle Chains into play. Did he draw another Rattle Chains? No way. Counting out some damage here. Now, nothing pumps. He doesn't have any Lord effects in. So Rattle Chain, we're just threatening 5, 10, 3, 6. No, so we're threatening 11 right now. Catilda's a 6/6 by herself. So it looks like we're threatening 5 in other spirits. I think the Spectral Sailor can be blocked, and then I think we're going to animate Sky Sovereign, block a Rattle Chains here. So Shiryu with the Destroy Evil in hand. All right, and there's the handshake. Shiryu actually coming out with the Catilda coming in clutch, and this really, really insane cyborg tech. The Takasi is welcome getting Shiryu a ton of value in that game against Shepard. Yeah, great game. So, guys, that's going to be our feature match for this round. As we kind of get a little bit later, this is round 3, so we're going to be going into round 4. It's a 6-round main event today, and then we have a cut to top 8. We might, at the end of round 4, pull a player for a player interview, and just kind of and go from there. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in and watching the stream throughout the day. You know, tune in, tune out. You know, show your support. Once again, on the standby screen, we will have a QR code that you can buy raffle tickets directly from there. All right, guys, I will be back. I gotta go grab some water, and I'm gonna go talk to some players. We'll see you back very soon. Thank you.